What is up? Welcome in to the Early Edge, powered by the almighty SportsLine. I'm your host, Alan Bell, and we have a great show lined up for you today. But before we get to it, let's take a look at how we did yesterday. And, well, pretty even on both sides here. Coach coming through for us. Prop Stars coming through with two big wins for the gang. Our side plays both had the over, both unders hit. We finished the NBA play-in games. Unders going 6-0. Crazy to see that. But you know what? Move ahead and let's bring in the stars of the show. Gentlemen, looking sharp today. Micah Roberts, how we doing, my man?
We're doing excellent. Ready to go. Ready to get this playoff thing started. The real playoffs started. None of this playing game stuff. NBA playoffs ready to go.
I'm with you on that, man. Mike McClure, how we doing, buddy?
Doing well. Happy to see everybody here. Like Micah, can't wait for the actual playoff series here to start. Going to be a beautiful day of basketball.
Yeah, it is. Today's a great day of sports, man. Prop Stars, what's up, buddy?
What's up, AB? Can I just tell you how impressed I am that you're hosting and producing at the same time?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. You learn something when you sit around here in the meat locker all day. So, yeah, I appreciate that, buddy. And Andrew Gabas, how we doing, my man?
I'm doing well. I cashed a plus 300 in a Bellator title fight last night. Barely slept, and I'm ready to get right back at it today.
I love it, man. My man's just going on a heater this week, and I respect it. All right, let's get into storylines that can affect the betting lines for today. And M Squared, coming over to you first, man. I think, is this our first official MLB weather report?
It is the first official MLB weather report. I'm not going to go into the details too much of the air density index today or any of that, but I will talk about the impact and how we see it impacting the games. So I've got five games circled that have a pretty significant weather impact. Atlanta, San Diego, about minus 20% in terms of the overall home run production, minus 10% overall in run scoring. Same thing in Kansas City, 20% hit to the home runs, minus 10% overall runs. Boston, Minnesota, 20% increase over normal situations in terms of hitting home runs. Look out for some fireworks today in Boston. San Francisco, Cleveland, minus 20% on home runs, minus 20% on runs across the board. Definitely not the best run scoring environment. And then Coors Field, Cubs, Rockies, 35% increase in home runs, everything across the board. Really good hitting conditions in Colorado this afternoon.
Man, I'm telling you, I have waited a month for that. I am fired up for it. I love it. All right, Gabas, coming over to you, man. We got a UFC fight night tonight. Break down the card for us. What's the title fight, or what's the main event, and what fight should we be looking for?
Yeah, so main event, we've got a rematch between Bilal Muhammad and Vicente Luque, 170 pounds. They fought in 2016 back in the day on the McGregor versus Alvarez card. Luque knocked him out in like 70 seconds. It was very quick. Muhammad threw a naked kick. Vicente came over, hit him with a punch that put him out cold. They've both had really, really good careers since then. This is obviously a much different fight than it was back then. This is an important fight for the 170-pound division. And then the co-main, we have two UFC newcomers, which is very rare that you see that in a co-main event. But we have Kyle Baralho taking on, I'm going to try to get this name right. It's a tough one. Gadzi Omar Gadziev. So both these guys, highly touted prospects to the point where they're in a co-main event spot in their first UFC fight. So really looking forward to this card today, and going to give you some bets shortly.
Dude, you nailed that name, man. Well done on that. You did a whole lot better than I would have done with it. So nice job on that. All right, Micah and Prop Stars, coming to you too. First, Micah, I'm going to come to you, and then Prop Stars, I want you to bounce off of it. Both of you talking about the NBA. So, Micah, we just came off the play-in games, 6 of them. Unders went 6-0, all right? We're moving off of that, getting into the first full day of real playoff games. What are you seeing, man? What do we need to know?
Well, the NBA playoffs are fantastic because they play to their true identity, their true rating. Usually every game, that means everybody's playing. That means defense is stressed harder. That means coaching is done more often, finding the weakness of teams. You see Ben Simmons last year. They picked on him constantly with the free throws. He's still hung over with that. He hasn't played yet. That's how stressful and meaningful the playoffs are. And the strengths, everybody plays to their strengths, and you don't see the nagging injuries. You go through 82 games. It's basically like a preseason to get to this spot. Now you're going to see beautiful basketball. You're going to see teams playing like they're supposed to play to their rating. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I am fired up. I've enjoyed the playing games. Like, I think it's a pretty good idea. I know that some people, some people love it, some people hate it, but it's a nice little, kind of appetizer leading in, to the official, NBA playoffs. All right, now prop stars. Speaking of that, going off of what Micah just said, what games do we have today? Take a look at them, break them down, give us a little quick, brief preview of what you got, what you're seeing today.
Yeah, I think we've got 4 excellent games, AB. I think you mentioned in yesterday's show that it's been, I think, something like 37 straight series with a 1 seed or a 2 seed having not lost. I think we could potentially see an upset in this opening round. First up, we've got Utah against Dallas. I think this is going to be a fascinating matchup. Lowest projected total on today's slate. Dallas will be without Luka. I'm curious to see if they're going to be competitive. This is going to be low scoring, pace down between 2 teams who are bottom 5 in pace and top 10 in defensive rating. Should be very interesting. Next up, we've got a polar opposite game in Minnesota against Memphis. 2 highest scoring teams in the NBA, both top 5 in pace as well. Should be a lot of fun if you're into points and offense. Then we've got Philadelphia against Toronto. This matchup is very fascinating. Raptors coach Nick Nurse has been one of the most successful coaches at slowing down Joel Embiid. I'm curious if that's going to carry over into the playoffs. I also really believe that Toronto is the true dark horse in the Eastern Conference. And then finally, to wrap things up, we've got Golden State and Denver. If Steph Curry is expected to play tonight, Golden State's going to be about as healthy as they've been all season. If he does suit up, going to be very interesting to see if Golden State can slow down Nikola Jokic. I think this is just an amazing 4 games. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I think that they are, right? And like you said, like, we have upset potential here, and then, when we take a look at Sunday, that Nets Celtics series is going to be fantastic, man. Like, this is going to be a fun NBA playoffs for sure. All right, let's get into our picks for today. And, sorry, I'm hitting you with a little early there. Yeah. All right, so look, we're going to go 2 plays here on the site. First one, the USFL. I promised everybody yesterday that we were going to hit it, and we're absolutely going to. We're going with the Birmingham Stallions, -3, might be -3.5 on your book today. Either one, take that. That's coming from our man, RJ White. The Generals, the New Jersey Generals, they just lost their starting quarterback to injury, and he has New Jersey as the lowest rated team in the USFL. We have, I believe it's 1 game today, and we have 3 on Sunday. So this is the only one on the board for today. Take the Stallions with the spread. We're also going to go to the NHL. We're going to take the Blackhawks Predators over 5.5. The Blackhawks last 3 games, an average of 8.6 goals scored per game in those 3. Also, the Predators going to be hungry coming off of that 0-4 shutout loss to Edmonton. So take the over 5.5 on that. All right, coming back to you boys. All right, so M squared. You know what? I can't do it like Coach does, so we're not even going to try. But we are going to throw it to you. Give it to us. What do you got?
All right, AV. We're going with the Boston Red Sox -120. Very friendly price out there right now on MGM. You can find it -125 at some of the other books. Simulation number on this is -132. Red Sox catch a pretty good break here. Byron Buxton should be out of the lineup after the injury yesterday on really a freak play. It was basically an easy routine fly ball that the Red Sox dropped, so he had to hustle and slide into second base, injured himself, could be out for a while. But love this spot for the Red Sox catching that break, not having to face him at the top of the lineup. That is the additional source of the value that pushes this over the top for me. -120 here against Sonny Gray. Difficult place to pitch. I mentioned in the beginning about the weather here, about a 20% increase in home run hitting here. I think it's going to help Boston just enough to get this one done. Take them -120 to get their first home win of the season.
Well, there we go. You said Sonny Gray they're going up against?
Yep.
Nice, man. Nashville legend, dude. I'll tell you what, for anybody that came up and saw him playing at Smyrna High School, not only obviously did he have a rocket for an arm as a pitcher, he was a hell of a quarterback too. I think he won, state in Tennessee, I think 2 times. He was a monster. And then, just down the street had a dude named David Price playing as well. So you had those 2 guys throwing, man. It was fantastic. All right, Andrew, coming over to you, man. You've got, 3 plays for us tonight in the UFC. I think 2 on the main card, 1 on the prelims, if I'm correct. Break those 3 down, man. What do you got?
Yeah, so I'll start on the main event since I kind of touched on that already. Vicente Luque is taking on Bilal Muhammad. Part 2, Luque knocked him out the first fight in 70 seconds. Not sure it'll come that easy again, but I do think Vicente Luque should be a wider favorite here. He has all the finishing upside. He's never been finished in his entire pro career. He's the better striker. He's a BJJ black belt. Bilal Muhammad is going to look to get takedowns here. I don't think he could take down Luque and hold him down for long periods of time without walking through hell to get there. So I think he's going to eat some damage. I think on the mat, there could be some scrambles where Luque ends up on top, and Luque does have that submission grappling chop. So my prediction is Luque by submission. I like his money line. It's about -155, -160 right now. I have him at about -200. So that is my first bet, Vicente Luque money line. Second bet, we're going to jump to Trey Ogden versus Jordan Levitt. So Trey Ogden and Jordan Levitt, both credentialed submission grapplers. Levitt has a very unique style for those who have ever seen him fight before. He's like doing splits in the octagon. He's a very unique individual, but he's pretty one-dimensional in the grappling, and he's facing a guy in Trey Ogden who is a credentialed grappler himself. Ogden's bigger. He's the better striker, and this is his UFC debut. So I think if he had been in the UFC, he'd be a much bigger favorite here. But I'm playing Trey Ogden. He's about -135, -140 right now. And last but not least, we are going with Miguel Baeza. I have bet on Miguel Baeza a lot in his career. He's had some mixed results. His last two, he's coming off 2 losses, but to much better competition than Andre Fialho. Baeza, he's going to be the better fighter at range, going to land a lot of low kicks. Fialho has a suspect gas tank. He kind of plods forward and looks to land a big shot, but technically speaking, Miguel Baeza has him covered at all angles here. So 3 picks: Baeza, Ogden, Luque. Play them all straight, and let's do this.
Man, hell yeah, dude. I'm fired up, man. I love any time that we have either a fight night or a UFC, kind of super event, man. They're so much fun. Now, speaking of somebody who does not have a suspect tank, our man Micah Roberts does about everything here at SportsLine for us. And before we get to your 3 picks, okay, got a question for you, Micah. All right, our man Trent in the SportsLine Early Edge family, he's talking about Bristol. We got dirt track racing this weekend, all right? He's got Kyle Larson at a top 3 finish. What do you think about that? What do you think about the race as a whole here?
Yeah, of course. I'm sickened that they put dirt on this beautiful cathedral in Bristol. This is a joke. But anyway, they're racing. You look at the practices, you see what's going on. Reddick looked really good. Ricky Stenhouse, I have him at 22-1. I'm pretty excited about that. And Larson, I mean, this is what he does. This dude is so crazy. He goes for fun and races dirt races, takes a $5,000 winning check and comes back and races a NASCAR. This is what he does. This is his deal. So yes, top 3, I could get with that.
Man, that's awesome. Like, I mean, he legitimately just loves it. Like, he just does it for love what he does. Man, that's fantastic. All right, Mike, I throw it to you, buddy. Yeah, you got 3 good picks. Break them down. What you got?
Yeah, we're going to go with the Warriors tonight. And the Nuggets won 3 of 4 against the Warriors this season. Amazing. Somehow they had some good shooting from the outside, which has troubled them all season long. Still no Murray, no Porter. And the Nuggets won both games in San Francisco. However, none of those games featured Draymond Green, the point forward, the master of the offense for the Warriors. He is the single most key person, I would say, right next to Steph Curry as being important. You see the struggles when he's not in there, the differences night and day. They won their last 5 games. I think they're going to get a double-digit win tonight over the Nuggets. We're going to go with the over in the Maverick game, and this is a game number. I've dropped my season rating numbers after I set it all up for the totals. I drop it 5 points for the playoffs just because of that. You mentioned the unders, but this one at 209, all 4 of their meetings this season went over that number. This is a number that's been reduced a little too much because of Luka Doncic, and I think they're going to play fine. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's a guy. Prop stars, help me out here. What's a number on him? Because I think he's going to go off. He's going to be a star. Jalen Brunson, both those guys, I think are going to give Utah trouble, and they've been, Gobert and Mitchell, I mean, they've been going at it. The bad locker room vibes have been horrible on the road. I think this is a spot where Dallas can win outright, but the over to me looked more attractive. And then we go to Memphis. They've been sitting around the last week just waiting for something to happen. Best cover team in the NBA, 63%. it's go time for them. And Minnesota, not as good on the road as they are at home with the home environment. And it's one of those things where Memphis, they do everything great. Like, you can't teach them. They're number one in rebounds, number one in steals, number one in block shots. That's the hustle meter. They're beating everybody to it. So they're going full on today. I expect them to win quite handsomely.
Man, I'll tell you this. They better be ready. The FedEx Forum in Memphis is going to be on fire. Those fans are fired up for this one, man. I cannot wait to watch that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Prop Stars, coming to you, man. Look, you're in the maestro spot, all right? He's on paternity leave, so bless him, bless the family, the kids, taking care of that. You're in the maestro spot. Bring us home. What you got?
Big shoes to fill. Shout out, Maestro. Yeah, first up, I've got D'Angelo Russell over 18.5 points. Russell's coming off a superb game against the Clippers. He scored 29 points, helped the Timberwolves secure a postseason berth. I was extremely impressed. Averaged 23.3 points per game against Memphis in 17 career games. Faced the Grizzlies 4 times this season. Scored 30, 28, 29, and 37 points. I mentioned how this game is projected to be high scoring, paced up between two very explosive offenses, both rank in the top 5 in possessions per game. These are the 2 highest scoring teams in the NBA, should feature a ton of scoring output. I love this spot for Russell. I expect him to get a bump in minutes as well, play upwards of 36 or 38 minutes. I'd play this all the way up to 19.5 if you don't have 18.5 available to you. Next up, I've got Dwight Powell, Dallas center, under 20.5 combined points, rebounds, and assists. This is just a big number for Powell. He only averages 8.7 points, 4.9 rebounds, and 1 assist per game. He played well down the stretch, which is why this number's inflated. However, he shot like nearly 85% in the month of April from the field. I don't think that is sustainable, certainly not in the playoffs in a spot versus Utah. This is just a tough matchup for the Mavs. The Mavs big man has struggled against Utah historically as well. Played the Jazz 21 times. He's been held under this 20.5 PRA line in 19 of 21 career games against Utah. Furthermore, the Jazz are surrendering the 7th fewest points, 6th fewest rebounds to opposing centers this season. Powell also really benefits from Luka Doncic, a lot of 2-man game, pick and roll, gets him a lot of open shots. Obviously, we know Luka's not going to be active in this game. The 209-point total, both of these teams play very slow. Dallas is last in pace, while Utah is 24th. I just think this number is just too big for Powell and what should be a very low-scoring defensive matchup. I'd play this down to 19.5 as well.
Prop Stars, nice job as always, my man. That's fantastic. All right, everybody, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Take a look at the recap here. And it does look glorious. M squared is on the Red Sox money line, -120. Prop Stars on Dwight Powell, under 20.5 PRA. D'Angelo Russell, over 18.5 points, -125. Andrew Gambas has got Vicente in the main event, -160. Miguel Bezo, money line, -160, as well as Trey Ogden, money line, -143. Michael Roberts is on the Warriors, -6.5. The Jazz and Mavericks over 209, and the Grizzlies -6.5. Our 2 site plays today, we're going to the USFL, the Birmingham Stallions, -3 against the New Jersey Generals. We're also going with the Blackhawks Predators over 5.5. And the AB3 today, all right, +300, going with the Grizzlies money line. Diamondbacks Mets over 7.5 runs, and we're going with the Stallions on the money line as well. So, gentlemen, that's all the damage that we can do for today. We sure do appreciate everybody tuning in. We will be live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, same time. You know what? Let's all cash some tickets. Let's win some money. Let's hit these props, hit these plays. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Everybody, good luck. Thanks.